Hi guys, this is Rosa again. Today we have an special guest for my program. Remember, this podcast is about real life for real people. And today we have another wonderful woman. Okay? And she gonna tell us what about she wants to talk. Okay? In my first question for you is, what's your name?
Okay, my name is Karen Burton.
Okay, Miss Karen. I can tell you Karen or Miss Karen. How do you prefer I tell you?
Just Karen.
Okay, Karen. Okay. Karen, can you tell us who are you? Who are you today?
Today I am. Well, I'm currently working at a company. I am living in a nice house in Florida, and I'm living with my son. I'm working. I'm very busy because we have one car and we go back and forth commuting. He has a job and I have a job. We're working on at home getting our house together, and I'm going to retire soon. And what else? I have two cats, two grandchildren. Besides my son, I also have my daughter who lives in Massachusetts.
Karen, are you from Massachusetts originally?
No, originally I'm from White Plains, New York, which is north of New York City. It's not in the city. And I grew up there. I went to school in Massachusetts, went to college in Massachusetts. Then I moved to New Jersey. Both of my kids were born in Somerset, New Jersey. And then we moved to Pennsylvania, back to New Jersey, and then down here to Florida.
Oh, okay, perfect. Um, one question, Karen. If you see your life like a novel, okay,
Hmm.
and what can you say about which chapter are you living today? It's not what is the chapter are you in today in your life because your life is a novel.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Hmm. Say I have one. My early life would be one first chapter when I was young. I would say I'm probably in chapter four. I'm getting close to retirement. So retirement would be chapter five. And now I would say I'm in chapter four. I'm busy getting stuff together, organizing my retirement incomes, um, visiting my grandchildren, and just working hard. I'm a worker. I've always worked. So even when I took time off to raise my kids, I was a busy beaver. So did a lot of gardening, did different kinds of little part-time jobs. So yeah, I've always been very busy, and this is probably about chapter four. I've gone through some medical issues in my earlier chapters, say about 8 years ago. That's one of my, well, actually go back 10 years. That was, I would say, chapter three. That's when I started having some medical issues. So.
And Karen, about that chapter 3, can you tell us
Mhm.
something about it?
Okay. Well, in middle of 2015, I was diagnosed with stage three breast cancer. And being a person who's always busy, always exercising, eating healthy, I was quite surprised because it didn't run in my family. None of the females that I know in my older family had breast cancer. No one did. So that was a real surprise for me. And it was something that it makes you step back and think when you're diagnosed with cancer. So I thought about it. I actually got a little angry about it because I was very healthy, and but all the doctors and nurses said I was healthy. I had no other normal issues like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and stuff that people normally struggle with. But I was healthy because I was walking every day, eating healthy, cooking healthy, exercising. But yeah, so once I got over the shock, it took about an hour. Then I was determined to fight it because I had to. I had people to be with, things to do. So determination was my big thing. I was determined to do it. I had to do it. I was going to work through it. Not only work through that, but keep working. I took some time off. In fact, very little time off. My medical uh, break was very small for that, because when I did chemotherapy, I worked. Did 4 months of chemotherapy. So I worked and I kept juicing, which is one thing that kept me healthy and gave me energy. So I went through that 4 months, and then I had a mastectomy in 2016, and then I had some reconstruction surgery. So that was the beginning of my journey through cancer. It wasn't the end of it, but that was the beginning of it. That's the first cancer I had, and I did have another one in 2020. Uh, Type B lymphoma is another. It's like a blood cancer. So I had that in the fall of 2020, and that was a struggle because that was actually to me worse than the breast cancer because it took all the energy out of your legs. I literally could not pick up my leg to step up on the sidewalk. I couldn't get up out of the chair. And my son helped me a lot because he was home. He was cooking for me and helping me when I couldn't get up. And it was frustrating for me, for someone who was always busy and doing things. And so that's another struggle. Well, I'm a person who always just attacks things. I learn about it and find out what I can do about it. Everything, you can do something about just about everything. You can't always uh, come out completely clean on the end, but yeah, I was. That's where that determination again. That's just me. So um, I had to go through some infusions, which are infuse chemicals into your veins, similar to chemotherapy, but it was different because it was a steroid and something else for that. But that's something that is, well, according to my oncologist, is not that bad. He knew exactly how to treat that. Cancer is a pick and choose when you have like breast cancer because it depends on your health whether they can treat it with. There are a lot of different things to treat it. Now it's much better. Everything has evolved since then because that was like 10 years ago. But yep, got through that. That's toward getting toward the end of that third chapter. So
And Karen, you said you got determination and you were
mm,
fighting with that. But
yes.
what do you say for yourself at the moment to continue it, to go forward, to move forward?
Okay. Well, for my breast cancer, I just felt that I was too healthy to get it. It wasn't supposed to happen. So I just said I had to move forward. I had my family and my grandkid. Well, I had one at the time, but my grandchildren. And I just said to myself, I'm gonna live. I'm gonna beat it. I'm gonna live. I'm gonna beat it. Breast cancer is not the worst kind of cancer because I kind of know how to treat it. So I went through that treatment program with my doctor, and I talked to my doctors a lot because I learn a lot from them. And I also researched it myself. I'm a scientist, so I research things, and my daughter
Mhm.
researches things for me. So it's just something you have to do. I mean, it's your next step. If you want to be able to do what you've been doing in the past, and I was always a busy person, and I struggled for that short amount of time just to beat, those diseases and come out and being ready to retire.
Okay. And then, can I ask you, how old are you?
I am 71 years old. I just turned 71 beginning of this month, the 8th of February.
Okay. And then you said before you have two cats. right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Two
Okay.
cats, two kids, two grandkids.
Oh, okay. It's perfect. It's a perfect diet this time, right? But I would like to ask you this question. If
Mm-hmm.
you, if somebody say or someone say is like that person think is too weak or the person has a lot of fear, what messages do you have for that person?
Fear is something I, from a child, I just learned. It's probably why I like horror movies because I don't want to, didn't want to be afraid. Well, the first time I was afraid of something, I didn't like the feeling. So I learn more about things to make sure I'm not afraid of them. For example, if someone has cancer and it is a scary thing to hear when the doctor says something like that. But especially at this day and age, you know there are a lot of different things you can do in terms of cancer. Your eating, everything feeds into it. Your eating habits, well, your exercise habits, being healthy. So if you're fearful, you need to find out what you can do to strengthen your body so you can fight the best you can.
Okay,
So, yeah.
perfect. One more question.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you can say you are grateful
Mm-hmm.
at this time.
Yes, I am. I've gone through a lot in the past 10 years. I'm very grateful. So, because, I didn't have to. Something, one of those two diseases. Well, I also had another disease. I had meningitis in 2018. That was a tough one, too. But with that one, the meningitis is where your brain swells. It comes from a bacteria. They're not sure. Well, nobody knows how I got it. They're thinking it might have been if I went to maybe an ethnic shop, but I don't. I didn't go out of the country anywhere. So the doctors are trying to figure out because it's not something you can catch very easily. They thought maybe because since in my job I handle a lot of money, money's very dirty. That might have been it, but that's pretty much the only thing I think it could be because it doesn't transmit person to person very
Hmm.
easily. I mean, my son didn't get it. You just don't get it very easily, and I don't still know how I got it. But in that case, thanks to my son, I got to the hospital on time. He noticed I was acting strange, and I was supposed to drive to go to a store to pick up some things. And he was watching me on his phone, watching where I was going. I wasn't going to the right place. I was kind of like driving in circles. So he called me, and I was on a busy street, and he told me to go directly to the store, which happened to be a store where I knew the manager. It's a small store. It's called ABC. So I went there, and then the manager, Tammy, who knew me, noticed I was acting strange. She's the one who called 911, and she called my son to tell him, to tell him what she did because she knew him as well. And I was only 5 minutes from the hospital. They got me there very fast, and because they knew I wasn't in an accident, like a driving accident, hit my head or something, they knew it was something else. So they immediately
Hmm.
started treating me for meningitis. And with meningitis, a lot of times you can have brain damage. But because I got there so fast and got treated very fast, and I got my scans at the end, I had no brain damage. That was a trying time as well. Very
Oh,
good.
yeah, okay. Karen, for now, I want to
Mhm.
tell you congratulations because
Oh, thank you.
you are a perfect woman in this case, because you were fighting with your issue, with your medical issue, and you were
Hmm.
still working, to moving. Because
Yeah,
at the end, in your inside of you, you knew it, that you can be better. You don't, at that time, you didn't understand what happened with you.
right.
But just you say no, 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 that is not for me. Okay,
Exactly.
yeah. And then
Hmm.
for the another time, I want to tell you thank you because you are here sharing with us a, a little bit of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you for say that for us, and we can see, hey, what I am doing with my life. If I am
Mm-hmm.
complaining for nothing, and there are
Mm-hmm.
people, like you, hey, you are strong, you got determination for your stuff, and you are
Yes.
here, just
Yes.
working.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you for your time, thank you for this conversation.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
okay, and we see you in another moment, okay?
Okay.
And have a good day. Thank
You
you for.
too.
And remember, ladies, if for everybody, if you want to share your story, um, just contacting me, okay? And we can have another conversation with you. And have a good day. A big hug for
Okay.
you, Karen.
Thank you. You have a good
Bye.
day.
Thank you.